Alright guys, so today's video I figured we'd do a top 5 true wireless earbuds with active noise canceling that are under $100. And really we could have called this $100 or under because there are 2 pair on the list that retail for $100. But with active noise canceling becoming one of those features that a lot of people are looking for, there are some very expensive pairs that have active noise canceling. I mean, the Sennheiser, the Sony, the Bose, those are like $200 and up. In fact, the Bose are almost $300. And a lot of people are not going to want to spend that on a pair of true wireless earbuds. And so out of all of the ones that I've tested, I just wanted to put together a list that if somebody's looking for noise canceling, I think these are excellent options and they're not going to break the bank. Now, these are not full-on reviews of these products. These are just touching on some bullet points for each one of these. If you are interested in checking out the original reviews, I'll have links to those in the description. And if you're also interested in purchasing these, I'll have links to that as well. So let's go ahead and start with number 5 on the list. Number 5 is going to be the Lavanda Loom. Now, as far as name brands go, this is probably the most unknown brand compared to some of the other ones on the list. But what has always made these stand out to me is how well the audio stacks up against the Sony WF-1000XM3s. They have some very similar traits when it comes to the audio. And what's surprising about that is the fact that the Sonys retail for $230 and the Lavanda Looms only retail for $100. And right now on Amazon, you can actually even pick them up for only $85. Now, when it comes to noise canceling, this is where there is a noticeable difference between these and the Sonys. I would put the Sonys blocking out around 90%, and I would say the Lavanda Loom is blocking out closer to around 75%, where I still feel like it does a good job against like lower sounds like engine noises and air conditioner units and things like that. I felt like it still allowed a lot of people talking and higher tones to come through, where the Sonys did a better job of blocking that kind of stuff out. Now, some other features that they have is they are using 9.2mm fiber optic drivers, which again, I was very impressed with. Battery life, I felt like was just okay. It is much better with using these with the noise canceling off, where you'll get 9 hours on the earbuds themselves and around 45 using the case. Where if you're gonna use them with the noise canceling turned on, you're only going to get 5 hours on the earbuds with around 25 hours using the case. So there is definitely a noticeable difference in battery life, whether you're gonna use them with the noise canceling on or off. Now, as far as the earbuds themselves, I found them to be very comfortable. I never had any concern that they were going to fall out of my ear. Now, they do use touch controls, and sadly, they give you control over everything but the volume. So I really wish they would have done this differently. I just prefer to have all of my controls all on the earbuds themselves. And then as far as the IP rating, they do come in rated at IP66, which means they're both dust and water resistant. So this is easily a pair that you can just use outdoors, and it won't matter if it starts to rain or you sweat heavily. Just make sure that you don't submerge them into water. So now let's go back to the sound. And in my opinion, it's the sound that's the most impressive feature about these earbuds. Again, it is a very dynamic sound overall. I felt like there was a lot of focus on the mids and the highs, which allowed me to hear a lot of details easily. Vocalists always sounded nice and clean, and I felt like the bass had just enough impact to keep it from being overpowering or getting sloppy with certain genres of music. I also felt like there was plenty of space in the sound, which really just kind of made it feel a little more open than some of the other earbuds on this list. And so when you mix sound like that with noise canceling that's doing a pretty decent job overall, that's what puts the Lavanda Looms in at number 5. So moving to number 4 on the list, which is the Tronsmart Apollo Bold, this is the other pair that retails for $100. And really what justifies that price is you're getting some pretty impressive features. It's using the flagship Qualcomm 5124 chip. You're also getting aptX, AAC, and SBC playback, and the noise canceling on these are very good. It did a really good job with blocking out fan noise and engine noises, but it also did a really good job with blocking out people talking. I would say this pair probably blocks out around 75 to 80% of my surroundings, so it just kind of made me feel a little more left alone with my music. Now this pair is actually using 6 microphones total to block out noise. So if you're going to be using these for phone calls, I think it does an excellent job with picking up my voice and using those microphones to block out my surroundings. And then as far as the battery life goes, this is another one of those pairs that has very impressive battery life. If you're going to use these with the noise canceling turned off, you can get around 10 hours of battery life on the earbuds with around 30 hours using the case. And again, if you decide to use these with the noise canceling on, you're still going to get 7 hours on the earbuds with around 21 hours using the case. And then these also have a fast charge feature where if you want to throw your earbuds in the case, a 10-minute charge will get you an hour's worth of use. Now, as far as the earbuds themselves, these also have the sensors that will auto pause and auto play if you take the earbuds out and put them in. But the controls on here are the only thing that's keeping these from being number 1 or number 2 on the list. Now, it does use touch controls, and the controls control everything. But the only problem I had is it seemed like it didn't register my touch all the time. So when I go to skip the track forward, it might not have registered the second touch. And so I feel myself having to go back and do things multiple times to get it to actually work. Now, as far as the IP rating, they come in rated at IP45. So again, this is another pair that you can use out and about and not have to worry. But what really makes these special is the sound. Again, it's a very dynamic sound. With the noise canceling on, it does even tend to warm up the sound a little bit more, but it is a bass heavy, a very boomy sound. Luckily though, the treble's tuned up really nicely. The mids come through very forward, but it is an in-your-face sound, which I think a lot of people are gonna like because it's that consumer-friendly sound. And so mixing that with the incredible noise canceling and other features that these have is what puts the Tronsmart Apollo Bold in at number 4. So now moving to number 3 on the list. Now this is one of those pairs that has incredible value because it retails for $60, but right now you can actually pick them up on Amazon for only $54. And that pair is the EarFun Free Pro. Now I kind of had a hard time deciding between this pair and the EarFun Air Pro. I easily recommend either one of these, but this pair had some features that I felt like made them stand out a little more because it's using Bluetooth 5.2. This pair also has a low latency mode if you're looking for a pair to use for different types of media. This is a great pair to go to. It's using dual composite dynamic drivers, which means it's powerful, it's very loud. You get a lot of thump in the low end, but you're getting a lot of details when it comes to the treble. I just kind of personally prefer a dynamic sound. I don't like my sound to be flat. I like to feel bass, but I like to hear all of the details that I need to hear in songs, and I had no issues with that with this pair. But the noise canceling on these is more focused on lower tones. So again, engine noises, air conditioner units and stuff like that, it blocks out really well. But you are gonna hear a little bit more dialogue and noises like that coming through. And as far as the battery life on these, if you're going to use them with the noise canceling off, you're gonna get around 7 hours on the earbuds with around 32 hours using the case. But if you're gonna use them with the noise canceling on, you're gonna get around 6 hours on the earbuds with around 27 hours using the case. And one of the features that I really like on this pair is the case is a Qi wireless charging case. So you don't have to worry about having to plug these in. You can just come in, drop them on a wireless charger, and they just start charging. And then as far as the controls on here, they do use touch controls and they almost control everything because it doesn't give you the ability to go back to the previous track. And I'm not really sure why they did this, especially giving you the fact that you can just control everything else. But other than that, these do have a wingtip design to them. And you mix that with the IPX5 rating, and that makes this a great pair for working out or going to run or doing things like that because they just did a really good job of staying in my ears. So for those people that are looking for a noise canceling pair to use while working out, this would be an excellent pair for doing that. And so that's what puts the EarFun Free Pro in at number 3. So moving to number 2 on the list. Number 2 is the Soundcore Life.2 NC, or if you see them on Amazon, it's actually the A2 NC. This pair retails for $80. And what puts these so high on the list is I absolutely love the sound that these have. If you are a bass head and you like to feel that subwoofer type bass, this is the one pair on the list that will definitely hit that mark. And not only that, it works with Soundcore's app, which is giving you 3 different levels of noise canceling. There's an indoor mode, so if you're going to be using them just with people talking, it's focused on that. There's an outdoor mode that's trying to block out a little bit more traffic. And then there's a transport mode, which you would use like if you're going to be on a plane to kind of block out that low engine noise. Now, these also have a transparency mode, which does a very good job of allowing you to hear your surroundings and not have to take your earbuds out. Now, as far as the controls on these, this is one area where I do have a little bit of a complaint because it doesn't give you control over everything. You do have to go into the app and kind of switch which controls you want it to do. So I'm not a big fan when earbuds don't just let you control everything. I don't like to feel limited when it comes to that. They're also using 11mm drivers, which again, I think is delivering that very powerful sound that these have. And with working with the app, you have a lot of different EQ settings. So if you do not want that very powerful bass, you can go in and switch that. There's a lot to choose from. So I think this is a pair that's gonna work for a lot of people because I feel like it's pretty versatile by being able to switch all of these different things. Now, as far as the battery life on these, you are going to get around 7 hours on the earbuds with around 35 hours using the case. And these also have the earwing design mixed with an IPX5 rating, which makes this another great pair to use at the gym or use while running or anything like that because it doesn't fall out of your ear. And you mix that with the dynamic sound that they have and it just gives you a little bit more energy while you're doing what you need to do. So as you can see, you get a lot of versatility in this pair, and that's what puts the Soundcore Life.2 NCs in at number 2. So now to number 1 on the list. Now, if you're a fan of this channel, this is probably not going to be a surprise to you because this is one of those companies that has incredible value when it comes to their earbuds, and that's what puts the SoundPEATS T2s in at number 1. Because they were already a very good value at their retail price of $70. But right now on Amazon, they are on sale and there's a coupon code, which makes it where you can pick this pair up for only $48. So that already puts them as the lowest priced earbud on the list. But this pair is also the one that has the best noise canceling on the list as well. I just felt like it did a really good job of blocking out my surroundings. I felt like it blocked out around 75 to 80% of the noise around me. So it nailed blocking out lower tones, but it also did a very good job of blocking out those higher tones as well. And so when you mix that with a pair that has 12mm drivers, which is delivering a very dynamic and a very in-your-face sound, it has a really punchy bass, and there are crystal clear details in the highs, and the mids have a really nice natural tone to it. It has incredible battery life. If you're going to use these with the noise canceling off, you can get up to 10 hours on the earbuds themselves with around 30 hours using the case. And if you decide to just use them with the noise canceling on, you're still going to get 8 hours of battery life on the earbud with around 24 hours using the case. And they also come in rated at IPX6, so definitely a pair you can use and not have to worry about your surroundings. So as you can see, the value that these have are absolutely incredible. Again, having the best noise canceling out of all the ones on the list, mixed with some really impressive battery life and a pretty decent IP rating, which is allowing you to just use these and not have to worry. It's just a lot of value that's kind of hard to pass up on. And that's what puts the SoundPEATS T2s in at number 1. But guys, that wraps up this video on the top 5 ANC earbuds under $100. It just goes to show you what you can get without having to spend a whole lot of money. I always like to offer that on the channel just so you see the value that's out there. But thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.